Hey there, everybody. Blue Steel is a deck that has been gaining in popularity for the last month and a half or so in the Lorcana metagame, and has started to put up quite a good number of results in the top 8 of tournaments, despite actually not being a massive presence in the metagame at those tournaments. And it's only in the last couple of weeks that I've actually been convinced that Blue Steel is perhaps the best deck in the format, even better than Ruby Amethyst Control, which is crazy. So I wanted to go through this list one more time as the format winds down, because it's actually kind of interesting. It's very rare in a TCG to see something like this happen, where you have one deck that dominates the format for basically the entirety of a format, and then right at the end, another deck kind of comes out of nowhere to challenge it for the top spot. And so because Blue Steel has been talked about quite a bit over the last month and a half, both on my YouTube channel and elsewhere, and you've probably seen a number of lists, I'm not going to focus too much on every card here, and instead choose to focus specifically on the cards that I think really improve the Ruby Amethyst matchup. And that is because this deck has plenty of really good matchups in the metagame. The only real question for it was whether or not it could beat Ruby Amethyst, or at least go toe-to-toe with it, and now I think it can. And the specific reasons for that are primarily the inclusion of 8 2-drops in the form of 4 Jafar and 4 Prince Eric. You can, of course, play Cruella, the 2-drop Cruella, which is basically an exact copy of this Jafar, instead of Jafar, or play some combination of 2 and 2 if you want to do the mind game thing. This is very important against Ruby Amethyst Control. They actually are the aggro deck in the matchup, and so one of the most important things to do in the early game is slow them down. And this is a deck that otherwise didn't have a lot of important things to do on turn 2, so playing a bunch of copies of 2-drops that you can use to really improve the Ruby Amethyst matchup is a really good use of that slot. And it also improves the aggro matchups as well. I think the decks that were only playing 4 Jafar, or excuse me, 4 Prince Eric in the past, kind of had a sneakily bad aggro matchup sometimes, because you could just fall way too far behind that even the Tinkerbell plus Grab Your Sword combo sometimes couldn't catch you up against those decks. And having 8 copies just makes you much more consistent in the early game. Beyond that, I think it's really important to have 4 copies of Hiram Flaversham. This card lets you outdraw almost any other deck in the format. The ability to just draw 2 every single turn is crazy powerful, and it lets you play games where you don't actually have to wheel, or maybe you can wheel one time and then not wheel again, because Hiram can just draw you through your whole deck on its own. And that's important because in the Ruby Amethyst matchup, once you've wheeled one time before turn 7, you really don't want to have to do it again. Every time you wheel, you're sort of playing the roulette of whether or not you draw them into another Be Prepared. And that's kind of a spot you don't really want to be in if you can avoid it. And so having this as a 4 of, as a draw engine that you can use instead of a Whole New World is really strong. Beyond that, just having 2 copies of Gaston increases the consistency of the deck, makes it so you can find gas. Gaston is really good at finding at least one good card. When you look at 3, it's rare that you're going to find 3 complete duds. And 4 copies of Developer Brain is just sort of the final piece of the package that increases the consistency of this deck. And these cards in combination, as well as Hiram Flaversham, make it so in the mid game you sort of never gas out. One problem that could occur sometimes with the old versions of Blue Steel was that you would do your thing, you'd play a wheel, and then suddenly you draw, 2 copies of Prince Eric, a Hades, a Tinkerbell, a Smash, and it's like you have no way to sort of continue churning through cards. And Develop Your Brain, Gaston, and Flaversham make sure that that doesn't happen to you. Beyond that, there's nothing too special going on here. I have 1 copy of Nothing to Hide. I actually think this copy of Nothing to Hide would be better off as something like One Jump Ahead or Mickey Mouse Detective. And then I'll just talk about One Jump Ahead briefly because it's a bit unique of a choice in my version of the list. I think the vast majority of Blue Steel players would tell you that you should be playing Mickey Mouse Detective, and I think there's a very good chance that they're right. But I still really like One Jump Ahead, specifically because it enables plays like turn 1 Popsicle, turn 2 One Jump Ahead, turn 3 Hiram Flaversham, which is something that the Mickey versions of this deck can't do. And One Jump Ahead also enables Bell to function as additional copies of Fishbone Quill in some hands. It doesn't work all the time because obviously Bell can't let you ink uninkables, but sometimes playing a turn 3 Bell is just as good as a turn 3 Fishbone, and Detective Mickey doesn't allow you to do that. Otherwise, yeah, this deck is pretty much the Blue Steel deck that you've seen before, so I won't spend too much time talking about everything else, and instead let's jump into some games. Alright, we are here playing some blue steel against what is likely some emerald steel discard. Against the discard deck, it's a little bit tricky, because if you play Fishbone Quill, you run the risk of running out of cards in hand. I'm going to keep Popsicle, Whole New World, Tinkerbell, Fishbone Quill. We'll see how this plays out. Just have to be really careful not to lose my whole hand here. Yeah, there's no way I'm playing Jafar on 2. It is a little bit annoying. So Fishbone Quill, the problem with it against discard is that it puts you down cards. Obviously, it lets you ink super aggressively, but that's not necessarily what you want to do against discard, who can really quickly empty your hand. Alright, well, let's see what they're up to with nothing to hide. Okay, they have Lucifer. That's good to know. It's a little bit awkward that we have all these whole new worlds in our hand. But no Prince John, so one Sudden Chill, one Lucifer to keep in mind. At this point, I'm definitely playing Fishbone Quill, because otherwise these whole new worlds are just completely dead. Definitely want to keep Tinkerbell over the Beast. The ability to shoot down Bucky would be really good. Jafar. Okay, so they can shift Jafar, maybe setting up like a Bibbidi Bobbidi combo of sorts. I'm going to start by inking Beast. Flaverstrom could end up being quite useful, so I want to hold on to that. Ink one of these whole new worlds and pass. And then we have options next turn. We can play Tinkerbell, we can play Grab Your Sword, we can play Flaverstrom. Kind of just depends on what they do. They do have a Lucifer in hand, and a Sudden Chill. I need to make sure, yeah, that I don't lose everything. Okay, so I like... Tricky. I like playing Grab Your Sword, but Lucifer takes everything. Maybe I should have held on to the whole new world. It was tricky because I wanted ink. This is a situation I wish I had a little more experience in. Obviously, so the problem here is that if I go down to just a whole new world as my only action, I get wrecked by... Yeah... I actually think I'm going to play Flaversham here. It's a little weird, but I just want to stock up on cards before I get too crazy. I don't think there's any way they're taking our whole hand here. We've got to Grab Your Sword to discard to Lucifer. Now, if they double Lucifer us, that could be unfortunate. It's still a winnable game, but definitely unfortunate. We'll discard one action card. There's the Sudden Chill. Okay. So I think I do want to get the Bucky off the board. Then draw 2, and then I can think about inking or not inking. Choice should be ours at that point. Okay. I think the safest thing to do here is just not ink. If I get to untap with all this stuff, or with the whole new world, I should be in good shape. This Develop Your Brain can be used as Lucifer fodder if needed. Obviously, my opponent has the ability to remove Flaversham if they want to, but I like our position here. That one discard was maybe wrong. It's hard to know exactly what to do there, but I certainly was able to find a line that worked, I think. But I think possibly keeping this is the correct play. Strength, sure. Smash, alright. Fair enough. Yeah, I think just getting the Lucifer off the board is a good play. It's just one card that can threaten to really make us discard multiple things. Yeah, let's discard one Develop Your Brain. Okay. Now I'm going to play Beast. And Prince Eric. And if they take my last card, that's actually fine. I'm winning the game still. Okay. Annoying, but still a winning position. One grab your sword at any point here should just be lights out. I'll just play Bell and pass. Just let my beast keep doing work. Sure, sudden chill, not a problem. Alright, Tinkerbell's good. That really opens up lines for us. Now this I don't care about. Alright, and we take it down versus discard. Alright, we are on the draw versus Ruby Amethyst. It's definitely a tough matchup on the draw. We have a pretty decent hand. Definitely going to keep a 2-drop and a Fishbone. We want the bells back in our deck. Hades is kind of a liability in our opener, but I think we'll keep the rest to make sure we have enough ink. Alright, and we hit a whole new world, which is good. Ooh, they're playing an Arthur LeFou version. That could be trouble, especially on the draw. I think Bell is not going to be the answer. Alright, Madam Mim. We'll put Jafar in play. Obviously, if they have Teeth and Ambitions, it'll be pretty good, but at least it'll slow him down a little bit, I think. Alright, yeah. Ink another Bell. Ink a Hades. And pass. I suppose I should probably quest there. One lore typically doesn't matter that much on our side. It matters for them quite a bit, but not really sure what I'm worried about. They couldn't have played Hades there or anything, so. Yeah, I don't think Beast is as good as second Tinkerbell, quite frankly. Let's put a Tinkerbell in play. Take out this Mana Mim, buy some time. Goat, sure. Mini. Cusco. Okay, and they choose to do nothing else. In that case, I'm actually going to put this Bell in play so that I can get as much ink as possible going here. Hoping to find another 5-drop. Okay. Not quite, but not terrible. I want to see what they lost. Okay, Elsa, Maui. Maui's a good one to hit, but no Be Prepareds. Yeah. Let's ink Eric. Well, yeah, play Bell. Ink develop. We're gonna get a huge quest off next turn. And hopefully we can find a second wheel with this Gaston. Yep, Maui's pretty decent. I'm gonna start by seeing what my opponent is. Well, I actually might want all my ink here. This is 11. Yeah, I'll look what they're up to. Okay, they have no Be Prepared. That's big. That is big. Definitely take out Mini. I actually think in this case I'm just going to do this. Wipe their board. And they're going to have like 2 draws to find Be Prepared, or they're going to be in some 3 draws, I guess. Or they're going to be in some serious trouble. And if they do find it, we can follow up with 2 threats. Boo, their last draw for turn was the Be Prepared. All right, fair enough. That's the way it goes. Of these, give me Gaston and Hades, and we'll put a beast in play. Okay, no second Be Prepared, which is great. Oh, this is not a good turn for them. Okay. I guess, I mean, it's something. It's not great, but it's something for them. I'm hoping to find a wheel off this. I don't necessarily want to pop it when I know... Okay, let's draw 2. I don't necessarily want to pop a wheel when I know they don't have Be Prepared, but it would be nice to have the backup. All right. Wow, off the top again. Must be nice to have all the luck in the world. All right, well, it's a passable consolation, I would say. Actually, not that worried. I want to use my ink. I'll shoot it. 2 more Be Preps in the deck for them. Still a pretty decent spot for us, I think. We can wheel next turn. We're ahead on lore, which is nice. Usually at this point in the game, they're beating us on lore, but getting those 2 quests in with Bell before they had 7 ink was pretty big. All right. Draw 1. Yeah, Hades seems fine. Goat. Mini. Okay, yeah. Tinkerbell plus Sword is going to be really, really good here. One-sided Be Prepared. I'll put Lady Tremaine Protection in play. Also sets up lethal if they have no answers to anything. All right, they're digging. Digging. Okay, Elsa's something. Definitely buy some time. I was gonna Hades it, but I would actually rather just shoot it with an Elsa. Lets us keep an extra threat in our hand. Still looking for the next Be Prepared. They replay the rabbit. Okay. Well, it's starting to look pretty good for us. Alright, I think we take it down. Well, that's one way to beat Ruby Amethyst. Alright, we are on the draw versus Purple Steel. I don't know necessarily what sort of Purple Steel build they're on. And because there are multiple options, I actually kind of like keeping a Nothing to Hide here. Obviously, I'd like to find a Fishbone Quill. No such luck. Okay, that tells me everything I need to know. Understood. Let's ink this and then play Develop Your Brain. Really looking for a Fishbone or a Ramp spell. Okay, so that's a Fishbone. We'll take it. Definitely playing Prince Eric next turn. I have turn 4 Tinkerbell, which could be very good. Obviously, if my opponent plays Befuddle, it's going to be rough, but can't beat everything. Do they have a Befuddle? Hercules would be pretty decent as well. Alright, there's the Hercules. Jafar, no thanks. I think I'm just going to try to set up the Tinkerbell next turn. We'll ink. We'll ink Istan for now. We have multiple options. You can play Tinkerbell, you can play Beast, you can play Grab Your Sword next turn. Really depends on what characters and the willpower of those characters that they have in play. If I can take out 2 of these with Tinkerbell or more, I think I'm happy to do that. Tiana. Yeah, Tiana's a tough one. I think this is not going to be a whole new world game. And, well, yeah. Resist 2 is just so much. Okay. Let's Ink Smash. Get this Tinkerbell in play. We can maybe get a damage on our Beast and then battle it down that way. Arthur. The Huntsman. Bell. Well, I think we'll start here and do this. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in play. Yeah, I mean, we're probably dead. Any lore anywhere at this point kills us. Yeah, the moment they find a goat, we're toast. Yep, they bounced Tiana. Makes sense to me. So we'll need to find an answer to Tiana. Well, and that Tiana. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. We can answer everything, but we can't answer this. Well played. Alright, well thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. As far as final thoughts on this deck, I think that Blue Steel really is, at the very least, the second best deck in the format, if not the first place deck at the end of this format. And if you have a serious tournament coming up in the last couple weeks of the metagame, and you really don't want to try playing Ruby Amethyst because you're tired of it or you don't like the deck or whatever, I would say Blue Steel really is the best option for you if your goal is to win first and foremost. So I think, yeah, give it a shot and see if you like it. Beyond that, I do think cutting the Nothing to Hide from this deck is probably a good idea in favor of some other ramp spell. And you could also try, of course, Mickey Mouse Detective instead of the one jump aheads that I was playing. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's a really, really good list, and you'll see some success with it if you try it, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.